Hey kids, welcome back to the channel. The reason this video is being restricted is because there's some profane language. So if you can't stand profane language, and actually there's going to be at least one clip with a little bit of violence in it, if you can't stand that, then click out of the video. I hope the one clip with the violence in it doesn't make the video blocked on YouTube, which it could, so maybe nobody will see this, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's going to be some profanity in this video, some fucking bad words, and there's going to be a little bit of violence that you're going to see if you watch this video. If you can't stand that shit, get the fuck out of here. So I'm making this video after watching a video from two dickweeds in their basement in Pennsylvania and another one from China Uncle Mikey. They're talking about a story in China where some women were beat up badly, and they're using it, at least the guys in Pennsylvania are using it to try to make money or to try to have their income. Assholes. China Uncle Mikey's just trying to use it to get more views, which is still a dickweed move. I think the three of them agree that this went absolutely viral in China. And actually, I spent the day yesterday to see if I could find anyone who hadn't heard of this story. I live in China. I couldn't find anyone that hadn't heard of this story.
Hello guys, China Uncle Mikey here. Welcome to another episode. Just from yesterday, a news went super viral on all the Chinese social medias, as well as on Weibo or WeChat, or on all the televisions.
That's kind of an indicator, though, that you should have. If this story of these women getting beaten up went so viral in China, how often do you think it really happens? Do you think it happens all the time, like these dickweeds in Pennsylvania say?
No.
Because this happens so often where people get away with it. Do you know how many times people just get away with this?
Yeah.
It's all the time. It's ubiquitous, right?
Yeah.
Like I said.
You think it happens all the time? It's just natural? It just goes on in China? Oh, China Uncle Mikey learned a new word, whataboutism, and he wants to try to use it. He says, oh, we're talking about China here. No, we're not talking about China, China Uncle Mikey. We're talking about beatings. We're talking about attacks on innocent people. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about China.
I'm not saying that, the gunfightings in American school are good things, but we are talking about China, right? When you point a China news or China issue, those guys turn up the face, right? Try to pretend that it's not existed even, right? This is this whataboutism, like try to pick up some terrible things happening in America, which is so ridiculous, right?
Maybe you don't want to compare it to other places. How do attacks in China compare to attacks in the United States?
Heart on the right toe. These are the same green Converse on her feet that turned out to be the only clear evidence that could identify her after the shooting. How about that?
Continuously beating those girls, it's almost like, I'm not really sure how many guys have you watched it. It's like the girls, if a man, uses full strength to attack a girl, it's almost, no women will win in that situation, right?
China Uncle Mikey, you're such a loser. I know you wouldn't intervene. We all know that you wouldn't intervene, China Uncle Mikey. We all know that you wouldn't do anything. China Uncle Mikey, every day, an average of 316 people are shot in the United States. You said, you're talking about stabbings. Why do these stabbings always happen in China? These people with knives. Yes, that's a terrible thing. And I've been here for 12 years. I can only think of 3 stories where that's happened. You tell me, how many can you think of? Can you count them on more than one hand? It's awful. It's absolutely awful that somebody would go into a school and stab children. Of course, we all know that. Every year, on average, 7,957 children and teens are shot in the United States. China Uncle Mikey, do you remember the massacre in Texas? It's like 17, 18 days ago now. I'm not sure exactly how many. But it's not that long ago. It was a massacre. 19 children shot and killed. Do you know that since then, I'm going to put a little clip in here to show you that since then, since that day, it's not been that long ago. I think you can probably agree with that it's not been that long ago, and there's been 33 mass shootings since that day. And this clip that I'm including was from 6 days ago, so there's been more even since then. More mass shootings, not shootings, mass shootings. China Uncle Mikey.
Since the elementary school massacre in Uvalde, Texas, 13 days ago, there have been 33 mass shootings across America. The crisis touching nearly every corner of this country. And our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Washington with more. Good morning, Pierre.
Michael, good morning. It feels like mass shootings are becoming as American as apple pie.
So I live in China. I use WeChat on a daily basis. I, search my moments all the time. People send me videos. There's other ways you can watch videos on WeChat, things that go viral or things that are promoted. And I do see beatings sometimes on WeChat. They're normally not censored, but what I see, the majority of the videos that I see are where a family joins in with a wife to break into a cheating man's bedroom, and the man ends up taking a beating. Sometimes the wife takes a couple of slaps. The police normally don't get involved. Where I come from, if there's a domestic dispute, the neighbors call, the next door neighbor, the neighbor above you or below you, or someone down the street calls the police, and there's a domestic dispute, somebody's going to jail where I come from. That's the way it works. If the police are called to the scene, somebody's going to jail. In China, the family often deals with things like that on their own. They don't kill anybody. They don't bring guns. The man might take a beating for sleeping around on his wife. The woman that he's sleeping with might take a couple slaps, maybe get her hair pulled. But she normally sneaks out of the video from what I've seen. I'm just telling you what I see from living here in China. Since I've been here, these guys want to say this kind of thing happens all the time.
No. Because this happens so often where people get away with it. Do you know how many times people just get away with this? Yeah. It's all the time. It's ubiquitous, right? Yeah. Like I said.
It's something that you don't walk down the street in China without seeing people getting beaten, without women getting beaten in the street. That's absolutely not true. I've seen one domestic dispute on the street since I've been here. It was in Harbin. It was cold outside, but there was a crowd gathering. I could see a police within visible distance. And there was two women beating the shit out of a guy. And I think the police are there to make sure it doesn't go too far, but they let the women beat this guy. So there must have been a reason that he was getting beaten, or at least the police expected that there's some reason that these women are beating this guy. Anyway, I think we can all agree, the two dicks in Pennsylvania and China Uncle Mikey being such an asshole, I think we can all agree that this is a terrible, terrible attack. It's a terrible thing that happened to these women. There's no disputing that. But if you want to claim this kind of thing happens all the time in China, or there's people walking around stabbing people all the time with knives, again, I'm not going to say it's never happened. It has happened. It's happened 3 times that I can remember since I've been in China. But you want to compare that to the United States and what's going on there?
I talked about like Truman's Show, right? It is like a Truman's Show in China. But more importantly, it is like a Hunger Game, right? It doesn't matter, who you are or how stronger physically you are. And they just try to, drop everyone into a cage and fight until one guy can get out of the cage, right? It doesn't matter, like it's like they drop Arnold Schwarzenegger or a chimpanzee or Mike Tyson or a dinosaur, and then they drop Amber Heard, all of them into a cage, and all of them be aware of that, they can just walk out when they win the game or something. So it's a Hunger Game, right? Nobody cares.
What the fuck are you talking about, you sniveling bastard? I'm going to make a prediction, though. Due to the American government's total support of a corrupt Ukraine, sending billions of dollars, those billions of dollars, believe me, they never made it there. They made it into the pockets of some of the politicians that agreed to send it there. Maybe $1 billion made it, or $2 billion, a very small amount. They don't even have weapons now in Ukraine. They can't even fight. The U.S. is sanctioning so much of the world that it's coming back to bite the United States, and as the economy goes down, people become poorer, it's going to fucking get worse. There's going to be more mass shootings in the United States. It's going to get worse. There's going to be more uprisings. There's going to be more crime. Maybe that's true around the world as well. But nowhere will have as many shootings, as many killings by guns as the United States. That's a fact. Anyway, there was some truth to what the ADV assholes were saying, that yes, this happened in China. It was a terrible event, and it absolutely went extremely viral. It was at the top of the news. Everyone knows about it. Every single person that I've talked to knows about this story. It didn't go unnoticed. And that's because it doesn't happen very often. It's not because it happens every day. If it happened every day, how would it possibly go viral? How would it be noticed by so many people if it was happening every single day? You dicks. Anyway, I'm just a little passionate about this subject because I can't believe these assholes would use this kind of a story to try to pad their income, those two assholes in Pennsylvania. I can't believe China Uncle Mikey would use the tragedy of these women just to get himself a couple extra views. And it's not unusual for China Uncle Mikey to do this kind of shit. I've seen it before on his fucking channel. So anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. I hope I can put the video together in such a way that it makes sense, what I'm trying to say here. Maybe not. I'm not that good at making videos. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.